Ever feel like your brain is a broken record, stuck on repeat with the same worries and anxieties? Ever find yourself on a never-ending loop of what-ifs and worst-case scenarios? You're not alone. Studies show that over 30% of adults struggle with crippling overthinking. That's right, over a third of us are held hostage by our own minds. It can zap our joy, steal our sleep, and leave us paralyzed by indecision. In this video, we'll expose the hidden costs of overthinking and show you how it's hijacking your life. So stay tuned until the end of the video to stop overthinking and start living. And subscribe to your very own channel where we will be discussing everyday healthcare problems and their solutions. Now, before we get into how overthinking is silently ruining your life, let's first look at what overthinking really is. Overthinking means spending too much time thinking about something, like a problem or a situation. When you overthink, you keep repeating the same thoughts in your head, trying to figure things out or worrying about what might happen. It's like your brain gets stuck on repeat, making you feel stressed and unsure about what to do. Overthinking makes you imagine forgetting everything, tripping on the way up, or the projector suddenly bursting into flames. Hopefully, that last one isn't too relatable. But overthinking isn't just about work jitters. It can creep into every corner of your life, from your relationships, did I say the right thing, to your social life, will everyone think I'm boring? It's like a constant loop of negativity, draining your energy and making it hard to enjoy the present moment. Now the question is how it all starts. The habit of overthinking often begins innocently enough, with many individuals mistaking it for problem solving. Clinical psychologist Helen Odesky points out, people often confuse overthinking with problem solving, but they just end up going around in circles. It's like being trapped in a mental maze, endlessly pondering every possible outcome. David Carbonell, another clinical psychologist, adds an interesting perspective, suggesting that the tendency to overthink stems from feeling vulnerable about the future. To avoid potential pitfalls, individuals keep trying to play out scenarios in their heads, hoping to find a foolproof solution. Many people can relate to this all too well. They've lost count of the times when they found themselves paralyzed by indecision, agonizing over even the smallest choices. And let me tell you, it's not a fun place to be. Instead of feeling empowered by their decision-making prowess, they often feel more confused and frustrated than ever. Despite all the time spent overthinking, the results haven't always been stellar. More often than not, people find themselves making poor decisions and kicking themselves for wasting so much precious time. It's like being caught in a never-ending cycle of self-doubt and regret. Now, let's tell you what's behind overthinking. First off, there's this whole deal with values. Society's changing so fast these days, and it's got us all questioning what success means. We're always trying to measure up to these ever-shifting standards, which can mess with our heads big time. Then there's this whole entitlement vibe. We've kind of got this idea that we're owed certain things in life, right? So, when things don't go our way, we get all worked up, feeling like we're missing out on what we deserve. And that can send us spiraling into overthinking mode real quick. And let's not forget our obsession with quick fixes. We're all about finding shortcuts to solve our problems, even if it's just a temporary fix. But those quick fixes don't fix anything in the long run. They just leave us stuck in this endless cycle of dissatisfaction and overthinking. Now, how does overthinking ruin your life? Overthinking can be dangerous because it can create problems that don't even exist. It's like making up a web of exciting possibilities and jumping to conclusions without seeing the whole picture. This habit can ruin your quality of life over time, which can cause a lot of problems. To begin, thinking too much can make you more stressed and make it harder to make choices. People often feel stuck because they can't decide what to do when overwhelmed by endless thoughts and possible scenarios. It feels like every choice is a huge job, which makes anxiety and a sense of being overwhelmed worse. Because of this, they might find it hard to quickly deal with problems and make good decisions, which could slow them down in their personal and business lives. Second, thinking too much can hurt your interactions with other people. Too much analysis of every experience and reading too much into every word or action can lead to mistrust and confusion. People close to or working with an overthinker may feel left out or annoyed by their habit of thinking too much about everything. It can make relationships tense because it makes communication hard and weakens real ties when people are too focused on the wrong things. Also, the constant pattern of overthinking can make mental and behavioral health problems worse or cause them to start in the first place. Conditions like sadness, anxiety, and drug abuse often get worse in places where people think about things all the time. As people get deeper into their thoughts, it may get harder for them to enjoy life or deal with things that stress them out. If you don't do anything about it, these problems can get worse and worse, causing your mental health and well-being to get worse and worse. If you often find yourself tossing and turning at night, unable to quiet your mind, and drift off to sleep, you might be an overthinker. Overthinking not only messes with your daytime sanity but also wreaks havoc on your sleep patterns. Your brain just refuses to shut off when it's flooded with worries and thoughts, leaving you staring at the ceiling for hours. When you're constantly ruminating on every little thing, it's no wonder that sleep becomes a distant dream. Your mind races with thoughts, replaying scenarios, and fretting about things you can't control. And as the night wears on, you find yourself clocking fewer and fewer hours of shut-eye. The result? Waking up feeling like a zombie the next day, with a foggy brain and a serious case of the grumps. Your lack of sleep leaves you groggy, irritable, and downright unproductive. It's like starting the day on the wrong foot, setting the tone for a less than stellar day ahead. But it's not just your mood that takes a hit, it's your overall health, too. Chronic sleep deprivation can wreak havoc on your immune system, leaving you more susceptible to illness and infections. Plus, it messes with your cognitive function, making it harder to concentrate and think clearly throughout the day. Moreover, overthinking isn't just a mental nuisance, it can also take a toll on your physical health, particularly your heart. When you're constantly lost in thought, your mind becomes a breeding ground for stress and anxiety. As stress levels rise, so does your blood pressure, putting added strain on your heart and increasing your risk of severe health issues like strokes and heart attacks. The connection between overthinking and high blood pressure is clear. The more you stress, the higher your blood pressure. If left unchecked, chronic stress can lead to a host of other problems, including elevated cholesterol levels and an increased likelihood of adopting unhealthy habits like smoking and excessive drinking. It's a vicious cycle. Overthinking triggers stress, which raises blood pressure, leading to even more stress. Before you know it, you're stuck in a dangerous loop that can seriously affect your overall well-being. Overthinking also messes with your appetite. When you're lost in thought, your brain becomes so preoccupied that it fails to register hunger cues or recognize when it's time to eat. As a result, even a short bout of overthinking can lead to a loss of appetite, leaving you feeling uninterested or unable to eat. Dr. Gudkar, a specialist in mental health, explains that stress from overthinking can disrupt your eating habits in two ways. You may either lose your appetite entirely or turn to overeating as a coping mechanism. Both extremes can negatively affect your health, from nutrient deficiencies to weight gain and digestive issues. When your mind is consumed by worry or stress, your body's natural hunger signals get drowned out. It can leave you feeling physically and mentally drained, exacerbating the cycle of overthinking and stress. Overthinking can also wreak havoc on your digestive system. When you're stressed from constant rumination, your body reduces blood flow and oxygen to your stomach, disrupting its normal functioning. It can lead to a host of gastrointestinal issues, including inflammatory bowel disease, IBD, and irritable bowel syndrome, IBS. The impact of overthinking on your digestive health can manifest in various ways, from stomach pain and cramping to bloating, diarrhea, or constipation. These symptoms can be uncomfortable and disruptive, further contributing to your stress levels and creating a vicious cycle of physical and mental distress. To mitigate the effects of overthinking on your digestive system, it's essential to prioritize stress management techniques and adopt healthy lifestyle habits. It may include mindfulness meditation, deep breathing exercises, regular physical activity, and maintaining a balanced diet. So, to sum up, it's normal to think about big choices in past events, but thinking about them too much can lead to adverse outcomes. Being too stressed out, having trouble with relationships, and even having mental health problems can all be caused by overthinking. It is important for your mental and emotional health to be aware of the signs of overthinking and take steps to break free from its grip. Are you also an overthinker? What challenges do you face in daily life? Share with us and subscribe to this channel to find solutions. Stay tuned.